the silent flame. The wind howled through the trees, carrying with it the scent of earth and rain. It was late autumn, and the mountains of the western region were swathed in mist. A pale moon hung overhead, shrouded by the gathering clouds. A perfect night for demons to prowl, and the faintest echoes of their growls could be heard from the dark corners of the forest. Riku, a young demon slayer, crouched low in the underbrush, his breath steady, his eyes narrowed. He had been tracking the demon for hours, ever since the first reports came in. A demon, capable of controlling shadows, had been terrorizing a nearby village. He clenched the hilt of his katana, feeling the weight of his responsibility. His sensei's words echoed in his mind. A demon's true strength lies in the mind, not just the bloodlust. The silence was unnerving. Every step, every rustle of leaves, seemed amplified. Then, like a crack in the air, the shadow demon emerged, a writhing mass of ink-black tendrils that stretched across the ground like a living darkness. Riku's heart raced, but he stood his ground, tightening his grip on his blade. He knew this demon's power. It could manipulate the very shadows, controlling them as extensions of itself. One wrong move, and he'd be swallowed whole by its black void. The demon's eyes glowed faintly from within the darkness, its grin predatory and cruel. Another slayer. How many of you will come, I wonder, before you realize you cannot win? Riku didn't flinch. Instead, he moved swiftly, using the techniques he'd been taught: water breathing, first form, water surface slash. The blade danced through the air, slicing through the demon's tendrils. The shadows recoiled with a shriek, but the demon was not defeated. Instead, it pulled itself together, its form undulating and shifting. "Nice try," it sneered, "but you cannot defeat me. There is no light in this world that can banish the shadows." Riku's expression remained calm. He knew what the demon didn't. It was the light of the human spirit that could pierce the darkness, not just the physical light of the sun or the moon. "Your mistake," Riku said softly, his voice carrying through the night, "is that you underestimate the power of those you call weak." With a sudden motion, Riku unleashed his second attack. Water breathing, fifth form, blessed rain after the drought. His katana moved in a sweeping arc, sending torrents of water in every direction. The shadows wavered, their form breaking apart momentarily under the assault. The demon roared in frustration, but it wasn't finished. It twisted the shadows around it, forming a massive, jagged spear aimed directly at Riku. In the blink of an eye, it shot forward, faster than any human could react. But Riku wasn't just a slayer of demons. He was also a student of the heart. He had learned something crucial from his time with the Hashira. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the resolve to act in its presence. With a shout, he leapt into the air, spinning with a precise water breathing, sixth form, whirlpool strike. His blade carved through the air, cutting through the demon's spear of darkness and into its core. The demon screamed, its form disintegrating into swirling shadows. But Riku didn't pause. He brought his blade down in a final, decisive arc. The air was still again, the forest returning to its eerie quiet. The only sound was the soft pattering of rain on the leaves. Riku stood over the remains of the demon, breathing heavily, but with a sense of calm. His body was bruised, his clothes torn, but his resolve had never been stronger. "This is the true power," he thought to himself, wiping the sweat from his brow, the strength to keep going, no matter the darkness. As he sheathed his sword and turned toward the village, Riku could hear the distant sound of a woman's voice singing a lullaby to her children. The world would continue turning, and demons would continue to appear. But he, and the others like him, would fight on. Because it wasn't just their lives at stake, it was the future of humanity itself. And so, the silent flame of determination burned brightly in his chest as Riku disappeared into the night, ready for the next battle.